Okay, welcome to Team Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for jumping on. Just so y'all know, if you're not aware, we do these every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, pretty much without fail. Every once in a while there's an exception. Like last week, Tracy had a team-wide meeting at the exact same time, and so we just went live at that meeting. So topics just vary based on honestly the pulse of the team, if that makes sense. If there's something that's really pressing on my heart to share or that another leader wants to share, we will go that route. Sometimes we have guest speakers on, but this particular Zoom was just something I felt like we should talk about. So we're going to touch on real quick how to, Angela, you raised your hand. Was that an accident? It might have been an accident. Okay. And y'all, just so you know, I'm so sorry. I have a brand new distributor trying to ask how to get on. Okay, so sorry, friends. Just so you guys know, there is an option at the bottom where it says chat, and you can like ask questions as we're going. If you have a question, you don't want to forget it, you're welcome to do that. So, so tonight's topic is how to talk to distributors, and Leanne's going to touch on how to talk about customers with customers. So I'm going to try and not have this be all over the place. If it is, I apologize, but this is very much just my thoughts on the matter. So I've had a lot of people this week send me screenshots, ask me questions, and one, I love it when that happens. I love to see y'all's messages and your conversations. I do the same thing. I'll send conversations to Leanne or to some of you guys and get feedback, and so I think it's awesome. And so this in no way is me saying, please don't do that. This is just, I just want to talk to you guys about this because I think that so many people join the business and we just kind of think, oh, you know how to talk to customers and distributors and get them in the computer. But there are certain just learned things that I had to be taught or told, if you will, at the very beginning of doing this, things that I wasn't, aware of, and that really helped me. So I just was going to give you guys a few tips on that. Okay, to start. In this business, confidence is so important. Your confidence as a distributor. Now, when you very first start, maybe you don't have confidence in yourself because you've just started. Then you need to borrow somebody else's confidence in you. I guarantee you the person that signed you up definitely had confidence in you and believed in you 100%. And I know too that for me, I had no idea what I was doing when I started, just like most of us have no idea what we're doing when we start. But I just borrowed Hannah's confidence in me. I just did everything she said to do. I copied her exactly. And that really, really helped me in the beginning. So I want to say, first of all, that confidence is a really huge part when you're talking to distributors. And we have a saying, fake it till you make it. I mean, if you feel very unsure and you're really not sure what to say, I'd tell them, like, I don't know the answer to your question, but I will find out. So, and the other thing I want to say is when you join this business, even if you've only been in for a day, you automatically know more about the person, about the business than the person asking you to join it. They don't know anything. That's why they're asking you about it. So, tips on talking to distributors. My first tip is you need to put yourself in their shoes and think about how long did it take you before you said yes to this business? What went through your head? Did it take you months? Did you, you guys may have seen the poll that Tracy did on the Live More, Give More page that had like answer A, B, C, or D to these things. And it was like watch messages or got messages and ignored them, watched a friend on Facebook for forever and didn't respond to them or whatever. think about your situation and how long did it take you to say yes. And I think what we do so often is we give ourselves grace to jump into something like this or say yes or whatever our story is. But then as soon as we join, we want that very first message we send somebody to be a yes. And we don't think about putting ourselves in other people's shoes and remembering how long it took us. The other thing is, because this is what we are thinking about all the time, and this is our goal to get distributors, and it's very exciting to us, we are so hyper aware when somebody reads our message and doesn't respond right away. And then we start reading into it. I've heard a saying, and I think it's really true in all areas, but we fill the void of silence with negativity. So let's say you're talking with someone and all of a sudden it goes silent, and it's silent for like 3 or 4 days. We fill that with negativity. Oh my gosh, I said the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, they don't want to do the business. So they must have talked to somebody, We fill it with that. And we have no idea what happened. Maybe they just haven't looked at the conversation again. And I think we do that in all areas of life, by the way. So all that to say, we are very hyper aware of when someone doesn't respond and they saw my message and they didn't say anything and I'm being ignored or whatever. And people are so busy. Like, think about how busy you are. And I know for me, if it doesn't have to do with this business and someone asks me a question, quite frankly, I can be that person that ignores it for like 2 or 3 days, but I'm not like intentionally ignoring it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've got to get to that. And I write it down and maybe I forget about it and come back to it a couple days later. So try not to be so sensitive and so like, I don't know if it, I mean, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound bad because I'm not saying it to y'all. I'm saying this is how I was. So I was so sensitive and made everything about me. Like, oh my gosh, I said something wrong. Instead of thinking about how busy somebody is and that it took me a while to jump in or whatever the case was, and giving them some grace and some time and then not reading into it. Okay. So that's just tip 1. Tip number 2, because people are so busy, they definitely appreciate quick and simple and to the point. You may think that it's being rude or too forward or you're following up too much or whatever, but I know for me, I appreciate that when someone is like that towards me. So when I'm talking with someone about being a distributor, so let's recent signed person, let me think. Okay, so let's say I'm talking to someone on Facebook and they like to post of mine about the business, and I message them and, hey girl, I noticed that you liked a couple of my business posts earlier this week. Are you interested in what I do? Like, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I love it, works, it's so amazing, and you'd be so good at it, and I just would love to tell you about it. We got these great bonuses right now, and oh my gosh, there's no contract. I mean, no, we wouldn't go into all that. It would be, are you interested in what I do? Very short and sweet. And I think that when your communication is really simple with somebody, it communicates that this is a simple thing. If we tell people this business is simple, no contract, no sales quota, you can work it in your spare time, but all of our communication is like this long, then that kind of automatically communicates, no, this is a process. And if I'm going to do this, I've got to know that as much as this girl, and I've got to be able to write out these long messages. Not to say that you can never write a long message, but do you all know what I'm saying? Like, you need to keep it concise. So she comes back. Yeah, actually, I'm curious. I've been watching you. Tell me what it's all about. And the next thing I would do is I always turn it. So now we're at tip number 2. So we talked about being confident. Okay. Borrowing somebody else's confidence. 2, concise. And this third tip is I always direct it back to them. Okay. So she's like, yeah, girl, tell me about it. You know, I've been curious. I kind of been watching you. What is it? And I would say, well, you know, the company is called It Works. Have you ever heard of it? And I always want to bounce it back to somebody because I want to know what all do they know before I try and tell them everything I know. It's not about me. It's about them. And they're interested in joining my team. And quite frankly, if someone's going to join my team, I want to make it about them. I want to know how this can fit in their life. I'm not just desperate and on my knees begging people to join my team. If it's not for somebody, it's not for somebody. And I want someone to join who really needs this in their life and is gonna work at it. And so I try and direct it back to them so I can hear their why in the first few paragraphs of us messaging back and forth. And then maybe they say, well, let me think, the girl I'm talking to today, she was very interested in products. And she doesn't get paid in the summer because she's a teacher. And she talked about how her budget was tight, but she's been watching people on Instagram that sell It Works. And she was just asking me tons of questions, and she was really thankful that I took time to talk to her. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm thankful that we are talking. Anyways, but so I heard in the first, literally second paragraph, why this would be good for her, because she's a teacher and she doesn't get paid in the summers. And we have an income, a possibility to make income on the side. So this is a good thing for her. So make it about them and direct it back to them. Okay. My fourth tip is don't answer a question that hasn't been asked. So you may think like, oh, it's really important I get all this information to them so that they know everything right away in the very first paragraph. But they're smart, and they're not going to say yes until they've asked the questions they want to ask. And so I make sure I answer all the questions they ask. But if they don't ask me for an email of the compensation plan, I'm not going to give it to them. Like, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, tell me about this business. I tell her what it is. It works as a company that's debt-free. They've been around 15 years, and they create natural health and wellness products. Really, there's something for everybody, and I absolutely love it because I can do it part-time, you know? So that would be my answer to that question. And then I would turn it back on her, and I'd say, have you ever thought about doing something like this part-time? Maybe she says, yeah, actually I have. You know, we really need some extra income. I'm not paid in the summers. And how does it work? So then I would maybe tell her a little bit about what we do. I would not go into the steps to success and all this detail yet. I would just say, basically, I share the products with my friends and family, and instead of the company paying a big sales team and marketing and advertising to do that, the extra percentage goes to me. And so I make money by sharing it with friends and family. See? Simple. And if she says, maybe she wants to know more details about that, I would tell her about the 3 ways we make money. And so I always answer, I don't answer all the questions of, this is how you're commission qualified, and this is how you do all these things. And oftentimes people don't need all of that info. I have found that the simpler I am, the more they're like, okay, tell me where to sign up. You know, or maybe she says, does it cost monthly? And I say, no, it doesn't. There is a website fee for 2 websites that you get to run your business. If you want to keep those going, keep it on. It's smart because it's how you get paid. Or working your sites and stuff and having people sign up. But if you want to turn it off, you can. Like, you're not bound to that. So if I've answered all the questions they have asked and they are ready to sign up, then I am going to sign them up, you know? So I think just keeping it when we communicate simply with our words and our actions, we communicate that this is a simple process. So I hope that makes sense. That's kind of like the overarching theme that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay. The other thing is like follow-up and connection, and how often do you do this? Okay. So someone was asking about this today. I think it was Katie. You were asking about this today, Katie. So I think that we think about this. This is another thing I think we think about, like, to the nth degree, like, and kind of can obsess over. And I'm not saying you're doing that, Katie. I just thought of you because of this. So you message somebody, and then 1 second. So you message somebody, and maybe they say one thing to you, and then they don't come back to the message for like 2 days or something. And you're like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond to them. This is the main reason why I really, really like to get people on the phone, because Messenger is great. Like, I think I'm thankful for it as a tool, but a phone conversation and hearing my voice is way more personal. It's quicker. They can hear my enthusiasm. I can turn things back to them a lot quicker and ask them how this would fit into their life and what's going on with them, and what's their goals, and you know, what amount of income would make a difference in their family's budget, all of those things. So I try and get people on the phone. So like, if I sent a message to somebody and they were asking me about my business and then it went cold for 2 days, I would probably send some kind of voice message, either through Facebook Messenger or through text, so they could hear my voice and say, hey, I'd love to get on the phone and just tell you a little bit about this, so that you can make an informed decision and see if this is a good fit for you. I love to say that, like, let me give you the info so you can see if it's a good fit for you. Because I think that one thing, this is a good example. I'll tell you guys this. This is a sad story. Y'all want to feel bad for me. There's a girl that I've been talking to since I joined. And just so y'all know, I joined, so I have to lock my kids out because they come in and they're loud. I joined this business 2 years ago in August. So there's a girl that I went to high school with, and I've been talking to her for 2 years. I was pursuing her about the business. She said no, so I started pursuing her about the product. She said no. I just started liking her stuff, commenting, and we just kind of struck up an old friendship, and I just left it alone. And recently, I invited her to an online party, and she came, and I was like, yes! And she wanted to buy the wraps, and we went back and forth, and she bought one, so I sent it to her, and then she said, oh, please don't hate me, but I've decided to join blah, blah, blah. I won't tell you the name of the company. And she's like, their compensation plan is awesome, and their products are so great. And I'm like, I never got a chance to tell you about ours. Like, all she knew was of the wraps, and at the very, very, very beginning of me joining, me asking her if she was interested. And I don't even know how I asked her because I was brand new. And so that bummed me out, because I know that our compensation plan and our company stands apart from any other company, and our products do too. Like, when our company puts a product out, they have thought about it for a long time, and it's a good product. And that was a bummer, because I was like, if I can just get the information in someone's hands, I want them to be able to make an informed decision. If they still tell me no, that's fine. I don't want anyone on my team that doesn't want to be on my team. But that's why I feel like if somebody is looking at the business, the quicker you can say, look, let me give you a little info on it so you can decide if it's a good fit. To me, that doesn't sound like I'm going to corner you and pressure you to sign. It's like, I want to give you this so you can make a good informed decision. So I try and be very concise with that and say that in as close to my first message as possible, if that makes sense. Like, if I can say it in my first message, I will. If I can get you on the phone or face-to-face somehow, that's going to be the first thing I try and do to seal the deal. And the last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to hand it to you, Leanne, if you're ready. The last thing I'll say is, I know we talk about this a lot, and I know that maybe this can fall on deaf ears, or maybe you can be like, for the love we know. But when they say fortune is in the follow-up, it is so true. I see so many people join this business and do it for like a month or two and then just stop, because maybe too many people told them no, or maybe they ran into life happens. Life does happen a lot. And they just stop following up. And there are so many people that have joined my team that I talked to 2 years ago. There are people that joined my team after 5 or 6 months. The average person is not going to say yes to you when you ask them to join your business the first day. Like, they're just not. So a distributor is somebody that is grown over time and that you work on. And so if you do this for like 2 months and you ask somebody for a couple months and then you just drop off, chances are they may order from somebody else. They may join somebody else. So your constant follow-up is more than anything, it's a sign that you're still working the business and that you treat it like a business. And I've had more people, there are a lot of people that tell me no, and in the same sentence say, you're doing so good with this. Like, I've been watching your journey, and I'm so proud of you and your family, and man, I wish I could be good at a business like that, or something like that. And I'm like, you could be, just join my team. But that's beside the point. But I've had people tell me that. They're just, it's encouraging, it's good, but it's interesting because it just shows you that someone may not buy from you and they may not be in your team, but that doesn't mean they don't admire your tenacity and your hard work and your dedication. So many people just give up on stuff nowadays. And I think people need to see us being consistent in something. So anyways, all that to say, please don't quit following up. And that doesn't mean that you message somebody every day or every week when they're like, no. But that girl told me no, and we continued having a friendship and a relationship. And when she joins this company, we will keep having a relationship, because if she becomes sad about the company or it's not something she wants to do, guess who's going to be there? So, okay, Leanne, can I turn it over to you? Are you ready for adding tips / talking about customers?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so first of all, this pretty much ties into, Jackie, quit laughing at me. You laugh at me every time we're on Zoom. I'm sorry. You made me lose my train of thought. Seriously? Okay. Everything that we do for customers and to sign customers, or not everything, but most everything is pretty much the same. We're always obviously adding new people so we can enlarge our network. So, make sure that you're doing that. Don't just go like friend random people, something like that you don't have any mutual friends with. Something that I noticed the other day is Facebook, has that little, when you start scrolling through your news feed, they have this little suggested friends or whatever. And most of them, or they used to be friends that you might know. But there are some that I've noticed here recently that you have no mutual friends in common, but they still have them up there. And if you click on them to like send a friend request because they look like maybe somebody that you would want to be friends with or whatever, Facebook pops up this little message that says, you don't have any mutual friends. Are you sure you want to send this friend request? So that was my red flag that said, don't get spammed. So I just deleted it because it was somebody that I thought I knew. But anyway, doesn't matter. But be mindful of that. Okay, so real quick, always adding new people. When you're adding new people, you're not immediately jumping and sending them a message and saying, hey, you want to try my products? No, we're going to build relationships. Something that, especially those of you that are new, need to know, which whoever enrolled you probably told you this, but we are a team that builds relationships and we encourage building relationships with people. We are not in this just, yes, we are in this to earn extra income, yes, but we are not out to take advantage of people by any means. We want to build strong relationships with people. This business is about helping people. So when you connect with the new people or old people or whatever, as you're connecting with people, you're building that relationship. And you need to remember that when you connect with people, when they can connect with you and they find like something in common with you or they can relate to you somehow, that's going to build a trust with you for them. And they're going to be more likely to enroll with you rather than some random, person that's posting about it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Okay. Mainly Instagram, because it's a little easier to find people that you just don't even know on Instagram. But once you start connecting with those people, find out their goals. We have 30 plus products. We have skincare. We have just overall health and wellness supplements. We have weight loss. Find out what they want to target, and then you can start helping specialize a product for them or a plan for them. When they know that you are taking the time to find out what they need, that's when they're going to trust you a little bit more. Of course, you may have some that ask you a ton of questions, and this is something I wanted to add with regard to the distributor. You may have somebody that's going to ask you a bazillion questions. You're going to answer all those questions perfectly, and they still won't sign up. That's okay. Don't freak out. Follow up. Just follow up with potential distributors and potential customers. Be consistent. That is the number one thing that you can do, is be consistent. Even when you feel like there's nobody looking at your post. I think Tracy said this actually in a live feed on the Live More, Give More page the other day. Maybe yesterday, Lindsay, I think. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. But she was saying, even she, as an ambassador diamond that's been in for 4 years? 3 years? When she posts a product post or business post, she'll get 0 to maybe 3 likes. But if she posts anything about her family or like the brewery or something like that, she'll get a ton of likes and a ton of interaction. So don't think it's just you. It's all of us. People, but that doesn't mean, that they're not watching, because they are watching. And if you are posting consistently day in and day out, numerous times a day, those people are going to come to you because they know that you're serious. Okay. So I know even I at times feel like it's annoying to me to post so much. But one of the girls on my team today sent us a message that said she still didn't understand the whole Facebook algorithm thing, but she blew up her own personal page yesterday with posts, and she got like 4 new potentials and 2 new customers. So, just be consistent and always post. Be a product of the product. That's also very, very important. If you are not using these products, what's that quote they said at conference? If the products aren't changing your life, they're not going to change your business. And that's the truth. I'm guilty. I have not been a rapper I've been in for a year and a half, and I've told Lindsay this. I have not wrapped very many times in a year and a half. But after conference, I was like, or maybe it was right before conference, I was like, I've got to start wrapping, because during the BOGO, I actually was pushing BOGO, and everybody started asking me questions about it. And I was like, well, the first time I wrapped, it took me like 6 times to really see what I wanted to see, and I haven't really wrapped consistently since then. And I was like, that's no way for me to promote our flagship product. I mean, that's what we're most known for. So I started wrapping, and now I had an event Thursday night, and I got to show my before and after from a full treatment of wraps, and you could see, and they were like, wow, that's really you. And I was like, yeah. So be a product of the product, find something that you like. As you get into everything, try other things. The probiotic is very big right now, a new product that we have that would be awesome. Don't prejudge anybody. Do not prejudge anybody. Ask everybody. You never know who's going to be interested and who's not. You cannot prejudge anyone. And if you're kind of worried about if a particular person may be interested, or maybe they're on your chicken list, and I don't know, send them a backdoor or a side door message. Hey, I'm having product testers for this product this month. I have 3 more spots open. Do you know anybody that would be interested? Use the side door approach. Sometimes you'd be surprised. They're like, oh yeah, I would like to try that. And hey, I heard about this product. Do you have that too? So you just never know. Follow up. Find a system that works for you. Stick with it and use it. And the last thing, assume the sale. A lot of top leaders say that, and it's kind of a hard habit to get into, but once you do, it'll just be a good habit. Like, you're like, okay, which one do you want to get started with today? So say, you message somebody that liked a product post. Hey, thanks so much for the like on this post. Would you be interested in being a product tester this month for me? I have 3 spots available. If they ask for more information, you've given them the information. They ask the price. You say, okay, well, retail it's this, and with my discount, you can get it like this. Which would you prefer? I can get you signed up today. And really push maybe you getting the information from them instead of just sending them to your website. I do not like to send people to my website unless they just absolutely, just push that and want to browse, because y'all know how busy you are. I mean, I'm like Lindsay said earlier, I'm probably going to forget to go to that person's website. They're probably going to forget to go, or they might just say, oh yeah, give me your website, and then they'll never go. So if you can get their information, if at all possible. And then you can give them your website, to browse or whatever. But that's pretty much it. Just keep going. Don't give up.
Leanne?
Yes.
Before you bounce it to Hannah, can I throw something in just really fast?
Yes.
Okay, because literally everything you just said at the end there is what happened. And I would love to, I could send a screenshot of this to y'all in our team page, but I don't know how to block out someone's private info. I need to figure that out. But I just want to read y'all this message. I use Instagram, and I use hashtags to find people. Then I friend them, and then I work on making a sincere connection with them. It's not fake, it's sincere. And if I feel like I need to be friends with someone for 6 months before I bring them to business, I will. Like, I take a while. If I feel like I can do it right away, I will too. I just feel it out. So this girl and I have been friends on Instagram, I don't know how long. She liked one of my product posts last week. And on Friday, I follow up with all my likes for the week. I don't, like Leanne said, and I know Hannah has the same experience. I don't always get a lot of real likes from real potentials. It's usually my team and big store accounts. So, I gather them all and do them on Fridays. So I just said, hey, Jenny, I love your font you wrote on your chalkboard. You're a skilled girlfriend, because she had this awesome chalkboard I liked. Also, thank you so much for the love of my post about the benefits of our defining gel. I'm actually looking for some product testers. Would you like to try it out at my 40% wholesale cost? Are you interested? Hey, Lindsay, thank you. I must admit, I've been very intrigued by it works. I just might be interested. Can you give me some details? 3 messages later, I've got her phone number. We texted this morning, and when we texted, I wasn't, like Leanne said, I wasn't shy and thinking, oh gosh, what if she balks at the price? You assume the sale and assume someone wants to get lots of products, and then let them tell you no. There's a really good book called Go for No about this. We can talk about it more later. So she bought defining gel, wraps, greens, and it's Vital. Because I asked her goals. She told me her goals. I came back and said, this is what I would use. I did it through voice message because I got her number to text. I just said, Instagram Messenger drives me nuts. You want to text? We started texting. I sent her a voice message of the products I would recommend for her goals. She said, let's do all of them. The other thing I assume with assuming the sale is what Leanne said. I know some of you guys, when you join, you think, I wouldn't give my credit card to someone I met on Instagram, so nobody else would either. We think that people think like we think. Okay, so like if I'm the most trusting person in the world, and I'm like, sure, I'll give you my info. So I feel like everyone thinks that way. So I assume that everyone's going to give me their info, and I let them tell me no. And I just told her, I was like, okay, great, I can put in your order now. Do you want to send me your info? If you're more comfortable, you're welcome to order online. She's like, no, I'm going to send you my info. What do you need? Told her what I need with confidence. Even though I said I needed her credit card, she sent it to me. Put it in, deleted it. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, I think that goes along with assuming the sale. And, you know, I praise God for every customer I get, because God brought me that customer. But I think that everything you said, I just was trying to back that up, Leanne. So Hannah, Banana, Fana, where are you? Hey, Hannah, can you chime in on just any tips you have when you're talking to distributors or customers?
Sure. This is kind of on the fly. I just got home, y'all. Okay, so I kind of hit some of Lindsay's too, but those are kind of some of our biggest tips, is just to become like, number one, you have to think of yourself as a professional asker. That's what Ashley always tells us. You just have to ask. You can't just assume that people are seeing your stuff, so you have to ask. You need to be a bigger listener than you are talker. When I first started, I would just word vomit everything they needed to know, and they weren't asking me the question. So just shut your mouth and listen more than you talk. And then also, I don't know if this is like how to talk to them, but I think if y'all haven't, I know this is kind of hitting on social media some, but if y'all haven't like unfollowed all your It Works people, not unfriend them, just unfollow them on Facebook, unfollow them, because if all you're seeing is It Works stuff, that's all Facebook is going to show you. And if that's all you're liking, that's all Facebook's going to show you. So what I've done is I've unfollowed all my It Works people except for like, just a couple. And then I have created like a friends list with potentials in it. And then I can post like business posts, and just those people are going to see it. So that's just something I've been doing recently. And I do love that side door approach that Leanne was talking about. And I'd also say always just lead with the business. Like if you're talking to someone, I would always lead with the business, because I think Alyssa Loyne said, if I offer someone my products and they say no, how am I going to like ever go back and say, oh, but hey, would you ever want to do this? So always start with the business opportunity first, and just be bold and be confident in asking. And like Lindsay or whoever said, borrow somebody else's confidence if you don't have it. Okay, no, I'm sorry. So that's all I kind of have. I have wild children who need to go to bed.
It's awesome. Just shows that we can do this business with kids in our lap. Mine were outside the door trying to get in a second ago. So
I should have locked them. Locked them out.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording.